Where I'm from, how much your life is worth is decided down the 9-inch barrel of a 6x5-inch 28-pound piece of metal with a carefully crafted 9mm piece of lead inside it that goes bang when ignited. Hello, my name's SULI Breaks and I'm a spoken word artist / poet, and you're watching my brief with Wrap Up UK. I first got into spoken word, it was completely an accident. You know, I've always been a fan of written word in any kind of medium, but I was asked to contribute towards an event while I was in uni, and I felt like the only way I could contribute was by doing a little poem or spoken word piece, and I kind of just did that, and from there it kind of catapulted into what it is now because I got a lot of response, and time to time I dabbled in and out, and it got to the point where I really enjoyed it and just decided to pursue it full time. My perfect world, I think I've even got a piece coming about it soon, God willing. It's called If the Whole World Were Tourists, you know what I mean? I feel like people always cling onto things like their land and stuff, or what they own, and use it to divide themselves from other people. So I feel my perfect world would be if no one owned anything, and everyone tried to appreciate someone else's culture, and everyone else looked at someone as something amazing, you know, as opposed to holding on to what you have and using that as a defining factor or dividing each other.
Success will not fall in your lap. In my family we have a saying. It says, if you really want to grow trees, pray for rain, but don't neglect to water your seeds. Chase your dreams.
What separates me from other spoken word artists, I'm not sure of the specific processes other people use to write, but I feel like with my work it's very personal, in the sense that it's not a specific genre or a specific style. Everything always just radiates from the emotion I'm feeling at the time or the subject matter on my mind at the time. So it could be, I talk about the most random things at times, and then sometimes I talk about things with a lot of weight, and sometimes I talk about this. So I feel like my style is very versatile in that aspect, and I've had a lot of experiences in life, and I feel like because I have experienced a lot of stuff, and I am always speaking from that experience perspective as opposed to that fly on the wall perspective, I feel like it does give a lot of people connection with my work. So I think perhaps that's what is the distinguishing factor between me and a lot of other artists. I knew a girl named Candy who wasn't too sweet. Had a friend named Bright who wasn't so bright. I don't see what's the point of having a friend named Comfort, because she never really provided too much comfort. And then there was Rich, who was always asking me to lend him 50p. My relationship with Stella was pretty stellar, and my mum's name's Patience, but when it came to me, she was pretty impatient. My influences have always been people who kind of excel within the industry that they do. So I've always looked up to people like maybe Jay-Z if it was music, Michael Jordan if it was basketball. And I also so what I did was take different aspects of their work ethic that they applied to their craft and kind of apply it to what I do. So I've never had one like intrinsic spoken word person who I've looked up to. It's always been external influences, and I've kind of mirrored their practices and tried to apply it to mine in the hope to attain the same kind of success within what I do. What about Neil, who had a bum knee so we couldn't really kneel? And Ariel never ever had no reception on her phone. Mercedes, Alexius, Porscha couldn't even drive, and Mr Ericsson had a Motorola. Johnny had his first baby when he was 16, so he didn't exactly stick to his name, if you know what I mean. Ernest was never really Ernest. DJ was a terrible DJ. April was born in May, and May was born in June. I tried Peach, but she wasn't too sweet, and Krystal couldn't have been any more cheap. So don't tell me he knows about justice because he's called a police, or because he's a preacher, you have to listen to what he has to preach. You can't label him a man till he can stand on his knees and his hands to provide for his fam. Because labels by themselves are worthless. A label doesn't mean anything until a person can earn them. My highlight probably so far was about 3 months ago I put a video online called Why I Hate School But Love Education. And I mean, I went to bed and I woke up, the video has 50,000 views. The next day, the video just kept escalating to the point where in a week it had 1 million views. Right now it's 2 million views and climbing. So that was probably the biggest highlight, because it kind of showed that my work is finally getting to the length which I always envisioned it to, and it's reaching the amount of people which I always envisioned that it could. So that was probably the biggest highlight, just the response, and it made my mum happy as well. So definitely that was probably my biggest highlight so far.
Education is about inspiring one's mind, not just filling their head. And take this from me, because I'm a educated man myself, who only came to this realization after countless nights in the library with a can of Red Bull keeping me awake till dawn and another can in the morn.
What I'm working on at the moment immediately is taking up my time is my EP. It's called the Dorm Room EP. which is like a little audio project combined with my poems and etc. I think people, hopefully people like that, God willing. And then we're working on a documentary which should be coming closer soon. But I don't like saying too many things too prematurely. So we've got a lot of stuff planned before the end of the year. But God willing, as they're coming out, I'll say more about them.
Now, in 3 years, I've had 6 jobs, and that made me think that long term I could never be happy working one of these jobs. And I used to have a rich uncle called Steve, and they say that apple don't fall far from the tree, so maybe subconsciously I was trying to get one of Steve's jobs.
5 years time, really, what I do want to see myself in is a position whereby I'm established as a person to the point where I say holds weight. I mean, if I say something, it has an effect on things that are relevant, or people actually listen, and I just, not just in the context of artists, but outside that realm as well, when I'm positioned where I can actually make a difference to people's lives, or just in general. I just want to be in that position whereby people understand what I'm saying and I'm actually a figure that has weight.
Sitting all alone, visualizing home, and all my friends were just these pictures on my phone. Sitting all alone,